On March 18th, 2025, I went to Canton, Massachusetts to check out the restaurants that have been highlighted in the Karen Reed trial, who is a woman that has been accused of killing her Boston police officer boyfriend. His name is John O'Keefe, and he was found in the front yard of another Boston police officer named Brian Albert. The last two restaurants that they were at were C.F. McCarthy's and the Waterfall restaurant. Right next door to C.F. McCarthy's is D&E Pizza, that is owned by the Canton Selectman, Chris Albert, who is the brother of Brian Albert, the officer's front yard that John O'Keefe was found in. A blogger was charged with witness intimidation because he was speaking into the cameras of D&E Pizza, and Chris Albert is a witness in that trial. So I went to this area to go get a perspective of all three restaurants, the cameras, and while I was there filming in front of C.F. McCarthy's, a woman had walked up and we had a conversation for about 5 minutes after she pointed to the signs in the windows of D&E Pizza, asking me if I support both of the signs, which is supporting justice for John O'Keefe and supporting Canton Police Department. Right at the end of our conversation, I noticed a Jeep pull up a couple parking spots down, and I was finished with my filming, so I went over to my car. I had heard a call come in for a woman that thought she was being followed, so while I was walking over to my car, I sat down to get directions off of Google Maps to that place.
Is the caller in Kathy's? The last ping on the phone was by Steeplechase on Chapman. Alright, roger that. I drove the length, I didn't see anybody.
Once I got in my car, he got out of his Jeep and he started literally standing there staring at me. So I activated my body cam and started recording with my phone. As you see, he's going to be staring at me right when I start recording. And he was doing that for at least 10-15 seconds. He goes to the door and then he walks back to his vehicle. Once I start pulling away, he also pulls out of his parking spot. So I figured what he was going to do is follow me. So I banged a Yui and we ended up passing by each other once again. I pulled back around down the street and then I headed to the call that I was going to of the woman being followed, which was very close to the police station on Washington Street. It's called Cassie's Corner Store. That call was cleared as soon as I was pulling up. The officers were getting back in their car. I went down the street, turned around. I ended up being behind a police officer, and I was heading to Canton PD. I parked here at the cemetery, and I walked down to Canton PD, because you know how we do when we're out filming police. You don't want them to get your vehicle and your identification from your license plate. When I was pulling past the police department to go park at the cemetery, I noticed who is now known as Colin pulling into the police department, and you can see his Jeep to the left right there. I pay him no mind because I'm not there for him. I'm there to document the police department, as I visited there 2 years prior, and I wanted to see if they had limited access to the public on the second floor, which they have since I was there last time. When I came outside, Colin was gone, and then Chris passed by me right here, and he went through the authorized personnel only, going around the back to the one-way exit on the other side of the building. When I was walking back to the cemetery, I turned around and noticed Colin passing by me once again right here. So I knew what he was going to do. He was going to go down and turn around once again. So I turn around, go back, and I stand on this stone wall so I can get another video of him once again passing by me, as it seems as he's following me and not I'm following him. Remember, D&E Pizza was to the right when you come out of the police department, and he took a left. And this is must be the second time he looped around because of what he describes in this body-worn camera footage. After he went by, I started cleaning my windows because I was parked underneath a tree, and then I heard the radio transmission come in, which made me get this body cam footage.
Can you return? Speak to a party in the lobby. They're being followed around. Not connected to the recent call.
And as you all heard, it said not related to the recent call, which was the other call I went to down at Cassie's Corner Store. For everyone that follows me here on YouTube, I'm sorry I haven't been posting lately. I have a lot of stuff that's been going on. I'm going to be able to post a lot more and kind of give you guys updates of what's been happening. I have one case that's in the appeals process, and I have another case that's going to be a revocation of plea. So I'm going to have two open cases once again, and I will keep you guys up to date what's going on. I appreciate all the support. Much love, respect, and appreciation.
Hey guys.
Hey, what's up?
Do you guys want to have a seat? We'll talk in the interview room. Give you some privacy. Yep. What's going on?
How are you? So what's going on today, guys?
So, so pretty much I went supposed to work for him today.
Okay.
I went up,
What time? It's 11:30 right now.
10:50 I pulled in.
So 10:50?
Yeah, pulled in the front of D&E.
So you parked on Wash?
Yep.
Okay.
And I saw some guy in front of D&E. I didn't really think anything of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so we crossed the street. I stopped paying attention. And then I go up to the door at D&E, and there's this guy in this 1960 Lincoln just staring
It's not
at
a
me.
Lincoln, Colin. I looked at
No,
it.
it's a Lincoln. 150% it's a
alright.
Lincoln.
Okay.
Just staring at me, which happens.
Is it the same guy that you saw before?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And he got in his Lincoln and stared. Just walked back to my car, hopped in my car, and drove away. And I went up towards Canton Market, pulled around in Canton Market, and all of a sudden he was going the same way I was going.
Uh-huh.
And then I went down towards the town hall. I pulled around in the town hall and through the back like business buildings over there.
Mm-hmm.
And I pulled out of the town hall, and all of a sudden he's right behind me again.
Mm-hmm.
So I went back up towards D&E.
Mm-hmm.
I think I pulled around in maybe the Walgreens parking lot.
Yep.
I can't even remember now. And then I drove straight here, and then I drove straight here, and then all of a sudden the guy.
You want to go lock the car? I mean,
No, it's all right. I mean, it's in the police station. It
Yeah.
should be fine.
And then
So just to have this right, you went from D&E to Canton Market. Did you pull on?
pulled back on Washington, going back.
Did you take a left down? Mechanic?
And turned around in the park.
So did you go mechanic and then like kind of?
That little swoop.
Yeah, you did a swoop,
Yeah.
and then you went opposite. You went towards the police station. You went towards town hall.
Yeah, and then I turned around in
you
the building right next to the town hall.
you didn't turn up to Sherman Street. You turned.
Oh, no, I
into,
turned on to Sherman
Okay,
Street.
so-
Turned on to Sherman Street, and then that first right,
first left.
first right, not in the town hall, the building,
Behind Kramer Jewelers used to.
Okay, so that's like 770. Let's call it.
Yeah.
So let's say town hall's 800. That's 770. So you turned right onto Sherman, right behind that business,
Yeah,
and then
and
left
then
in front of the library. You popped out like in the library.
Yeah.
In front of the library. Okay.
Yep, and then he was driving right past me again, staring at me the whole way driving by, and then I think I went back up towards Walgreens, and then turned back, I forget which part.
So I have this right. Canton, you went from D&E to Canton Market. Did you notice he was following you at that point?
Yes.
Okay. And then you did that little turnaround in the building before Town Hall on Washington Street.
Mhm.
You went Sherman, that building, and when you were either turning left or preparing to turn left onto Washington Street. So this is you, this is Washington Street. You saw him coming this way on Washington?
Yep, come right by, and then I took a left
Uh-huh.
out there, and then turned back around. I
So you turned left on Washington Street, basically.
Saw him
you'd
go
be-
by, and had his head every single time I drove
Yeah.
by him. He was staring at me
Sure.
with almost his head out of the window, staring
Yeah.
at me driving by.
Sure.
And then I did another turn. Now I'm
So
forgetting.
you turned onto what? You turned onto Bolivar Street?
No. I stayed on Washington the whole time. I was just.
You said
turning around.
You had to turn around, though, so where'd you turn around after you took a left?
So you turned
I
to
think
the
it was Bolivar and into the Walgreens parking lot.
Okay, then when you were in the Bolivar Street, when you were in the parking lot of Walgreens, how did you from there you came here, or were there more stops and turns?
No, from there I came here, but then I turned around and he drove by me again on the way here. And then when I was on the way, he drove by me after I turned out of Walgreens. He drove by me again on the way here.
So how did you get from Walgreens to here? Did you turn left onto Bolivar and go Pleasant, or did you come Washington?
I came Washington.
Okay.
I turned out of
So
Walgreens.
Took a right and then a right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And then he drove by me again. So then
On Washington Street, so
on Washington.
probably in the vicinity of what, D&E?
A little further closer to Seasons, kind of.
Okay, so he turned around again and
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I turned around and drove
He
straight.
called me.
Called
I
him.
said, go to the police station. Just
So I
drive
drove
into the police
straight
station.
here,
Sure.
and then he somehow ended up 4 cars behind me coming to the police station. Then I parked out there.
hold on. Let me just take these notes down real quick. 4 cars back. I just want to ask one question. Did you know that he was behind you on your way here? You said he was 4 cars back. At what point did you realize?
When I turned in here, I saw his
Okay.
Lincoln about 3-4 cars back behind me again.
Okay,
And
sure.
then I pulled into here. I sat in my car for a couple minutes. Maybe 5 minutes. I was on and off the phone with my dad.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, I see the guy walk right behind my car. Start recording my car in the parking lot, and recording all sorts of, I don't know, the building, everything. And then I saw him walk in here,
Yep.
and then
Mm-hmm.
and went down that way. And I actually saw his car parked in the cemetery.
Okay, so you took a left out of here.
Left out of here, went down there.
So, just because I need to be specific, you
Yeah.
take a left out of here.
Yep. I take a left past.
This, so you can either go Randolph Street or you can go Washington Street.
I went straight.
So you went straight, stayed on Washington Street.
Stayed on Washington.
So you at St. Mary's would be on your left? Because Randolph Street also has a cemetery.
Yes.
Okay.
But he was on the one on the right. His car was in the Randolph Street. The Randolph Street one.
Gotcha.
On the
So,
right.
so if you take a left out of here, there is the church that's physically next to our building. There's the one that's across the street, and then that cemetery. He was in that cemetery.
Yes, he was walking to his car. He turned around, and then he saw my car drive by. So
Yeah.
he clicked. I think he had a GoPro.
Yeah.
I saw him click
Okay.
something right here, and then I turned around and went straight down. Turned around in Kenny Street,
Yep.
right across, and came back up, and he was actually this time he was standing on the rock wall on the Randolph Cemetery side.
Yep.
On the rock wall, recording my car drive by the whole
Okay.
time, and then I pulled in here
Okay.
and out here.
Okay. So you said it was 1960s Lincoln?
Well, I'm just guessing, honestly. Yeah, something like that.
It's probably the 70s. I have a picture of it.
Sure, I'll take a peek at it.
Yeah.
And if you want to forward that to my town email,
Yeah.
it's mchin@town. I'm sure you know
Yeah.
at this point.
M. Chint. So the only thing I can say is that I verified. That's this car. Probably 70s.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we're not gonna.
Yeah.
So it's a white. We'll call that. What's the name for those? Like
Like a Continental?
older.
Or is it a Buick? It's hard to tell.
I'm just gonna call
Before
it.
you were born.
Yeah. I'm just gonna call it an older American car.
Yeah.
So it's a white older American car. Is there any chance you guys got his license plate at all?
I didn't know.
I didn't. I mean,
it
might show up.
Yeah, we might be able to figure it out, but did you
Yeah.
get any partial digits? Did you know it started with a 1? Did you know it ended with
Yeah, I never saw it.
no digits?
Yeah.
Okay.
Got him on camera coming in there, so
Yeah. So I heard somebody was in here filming. Sounds like they're probably related. I mean, I don't know how many people were in here filming today. I know
Yeah.
it's a.
it's a usual occurrence for you guys.
Yeah. From what you're telling me, I'm not sure anything would be criminal. Obviously, you did the right thing coming here because you got to protect yourself. But following you on the public streets, I'm not sure Obviously, if he's involved in some of your cases or something like that, if there's orders, we'll see if we can determine who he is. But I'm not sure if there's anything criminal yet. But what would be important is if you see him multiple times, then you can articulate harassment and get those harassment prevention orders, which would, if he does it again, like the fourth time, it would be arrestable. So you would need 3 instances. You can go on public ways,
Yeah.
and there's nothing we can do about him going on the public ways. I don't know what the elements of stalking are off the top of my head. I will have to look. Next thing I do is I'll go in there, I'll check what stalking is. But for right, I would imagine, what this was over the course of 30 minutes probably would not constitute stalking.
Yeah.
Now, if it continues, that would. You're getting more and more. We'll document. As far as figuring out who he was, FOIA our reports and see if see that's how you can figure out who he is. Just so you're arming yourself with knowledge.
Yeah. Okay.
What I do here is I usually leave my body camera in here, so I'm gonna put this down. I'm gonna leave it in here just so your private conversation isn't obviously private. There's also cameras in here.
Yeah.
So I'll go talk to the supervisor. I will look up the stalking elements. So I'll educate you, so you guys are armed with knowledge, because you should really. And here's a tip I tell people for everything: any crime you're wondering, what do I need to prove this? Google stalking Massachusetts jury instructions.
Yeah.
If you want to do it right now, I'll help you.
Right.
It comes with the elements and little footnotes, and that's how the courts instruct the jury on how they need to deliberate.
Yeah.
So you're going to have everything the jury would have.
Yeah.
So you are armed with that knowledge, and you can articulate even better to us, this is what happened. We read them, and we try to suss that information out, but we're not mind readers.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you can think of something that goes, he did X, which is the second element.
Yeah.
Right. So the jury instructions are all public. They're public PDFs.
Yeah.
I'll go talk to the supervisor.
Well, he has to go to work, so.
Do you want to wait 2 minutes?
Yeah. No, that's fine. Yeah. No worries. I didn't know where you were. Yeah.
So here's what they agreed with me. It's not stalking yet.
Yeah.
And here is. I printed it out for you. And don't ever feel like you're troubling us or anything like that. If you feel unsafe, we'll always come out. Make sure you're all right. Take a report from you, because if you guys want to go ahead, I'm going to swing around just so we can all read this together. This is what they would read to the jury. The defendant committed at least 3 separate acts, and so the key to all of this, guys, would be documenting.
Yeah.
Because if we don't document, it's more difficult to prove.
Yeah.
And I believe somewhere in there it says there has to be a threat too. But if they threaten you once and they follow you, that satisfies the act, the 3 separate acts. So what you have there is the 5 elements.
Yeah.
Wait, is it 6 elements?
Yeah.
and then to prove, each element.
Yeah.
And then like there's notes on everything.
Yeah.
So you guys are armed with knowledge now.
right.
So you guys know what to look out for. And please, if you guys
Yeah.
feel unsafe, call us so we can document these.
Yeah.
Because as you can see by the first element, you
Yeah.
need multiple. Did, but he was holding it up, and somebody asked, "Can I help you?" He said no, and it's a public building, so we let him walk. We let him walk around. I don't know where he went, what he did,
Yeah.
but apparently he was just filming the building, which
Yeah.
has happened before.
Yeah.
But that's the game plan. I would say document. Don't be afraid to call,
Yeah.
and because it's. Guys,
I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
take care.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate
anything you
your
guys
time.
need,
Yeah, thank you.
after you guys.
All right, I appreciate your time.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you all for watching. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Also go to my other social media platforms and follow, like, share, comment, react. Do all that, help the algorithm. Much love, respect, and appreciation.